Hey guys, come on in. Come on in. Great evening or afternoon, late afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we encourage you guys to come on in. We're going to do another session with you guys on this evening. I got a few things going on. And so if you see me looking off to the side, I'm trying to set things up. But I am excited to be back here with my wonderful husband. I'm Annette.
I'm Anthony.
And we are here to do another temperature check. All right, all right. Let's check the temperature. Let's check the temperature. Now, I am live on Insta, Facebook, and YouTube right now. So, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing this live when you come in, I'm going to try and tag some individuals as we're talking on today. Honey, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
You doing good?
I'm doing good.
Okay, that's good to hear. Good to know. I tell you, these days they go by so fast, and we get so busy. But it's a blessing to still be here, though. You know.
Yes, it is.
Um, and I'm going to post this little. Um, it's something that I think I know I saw. I'm gonna post the first thing that I saw regarding marriage, and then I'm going to post something that or display something that somebody else shared in the marriage temperature check group. And you guys, I'm still going to encourage you to make sure you follow us on that page because this is a new, and I'll probably keep reiterating this, because this is a new page, I have to get to a certain number of followers for me to go live from that page. So that's why we are live on um, my page, Annette Get Caught in the Net, until we get the followers up. So I'm counting on you guys to come on in and help me out with that. I hope everything has been going well for you guys that have followed us. You've been with us. You've been keeping up with us. How have things been going with you guys? When you do come in, go ahead and throw into the comment section. Say hello if you would not mind, because we would like to know who's here watching us. And sometimes you're watching and I don't see your name because you don't say anything. That's just how Facebook does things. So whether or not you're over on YouTube, Insta, or here on Facebook, we would love to know that you're here, that you can engage with us. So yeah, we just like to try and check the temperature. Of course, we're married, we're checking on marriages, but on relationships as well. So don't be shy. Please don't be shy. Come on and join in with us on today. Let me see if I can go ahead and share this. Oh, I have to pull it up first. Honey, why don't you talk while I pull that up?
Oh, okay. Well, Annette brought up a good thing. I wanted to check the temperatures. And we know in most of the country, the temperature right now is fairly hot, actually. So, and how was the 4th of July holiday weekend? I think we haven't talked to anyone since the holiday. So that's always a good thing.
Oh, yeah,
Mid
that is true. That
midsummer
is true.
holiday
Mhm.
barbecue or whatever. So
Yeah. So yeah, guys, share with us how you guys celebrated the holiday. I know some people say that their July 4th is on Juneteenth, which is no problem. We get it. We understand. Uh, but yeah, if you had something you wanted to share with us, hopefully everything went well, and you were able to share time with your family and maybe get away if you were able to. So if you see on my screen, this quote. I saw this somewhere and I thought it was very interesting. I kind of want to start off with that on tonight's session, checking our temperature. It says here, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times. Ooh wee, I like that. But always with the same person. Hmm.
That prompts a question.
Which is,
Why do you have to fall in love many times?
ah. So you don't, so in asking that question, do you not believe that you have to fall in love many times? Or you're
That's
just asking?
that's a question.
That's interesting. Because I think probably more women would be like, "Oh, I love this quote." They probably wouldn't even think about, do you have to fall in love many times? I'm just saying from my point of view.
And
But in
I'm not saying yes or yay or nay. I'm just saying why.
well, I think, of course, you're probably dealing with semantics at this point, right? Falling in love so many times, but my thing is, why not? Why not fall in love again and again and again with the same person? Um, because okay, we always talk about how we're two different people, right? And God brings us together. I'm from a different background, you are as well, different but similar. And then when we're in a relationship, and this is why we talk about even checking the temperature, because when you're in a relationship, you're going to evolve, you're going to change, there's going to be um something there, whether it is something that is going to uh, encourage you to fall in love again, or to love more, or to love differently. Um, and I think, trying to answer your question, I think it's important to fall in love many times because of that fact, because you're going to change. We're in this, what, almost 30, I keep saying almost 30 years because it's closer to 30 than it was. But we're in this, and we've been in this, and we've seen each other evolve, right? We've seen each
Hmm.
other change. So that silly little giddy love that we probably had in the beginning, and it has to, that has to mature. That love has to mature. That love sometimes has to change, I think, to adjust, to see if this is what I want to continue to do. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, so I think that's why. Hopefully, I answered your question from my point of view.
No, no, that was an open question. Like I said, it wasn't a one plus one equals two correct answer.
Well, right, yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying that was my response. I mean, that's what I'm
Okay,
thinking,
okay.
um, in terms of what needs to, happen, because you can't be to the point where you're thinking that, oh, I don't need to change, or I don't need to adjust, or
You
I
don't?
don't need to, you know what I mean?
You mean to tell me I
Um,
don't?
what was that?
You mean to tell me I don't?
Oh my. This is why we're checking the temperature. See the temperature. But yeah, you're, and you know what, actually, in all honesty, sweetheart, we should be growing. We should be adjusting. Um, things happen in life, right? You may have started off in that marriage, that relationship, you had everything, the perfect house and the perfect neighborhood, you had the perfect jobs, you had the 2.2 kids, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And the white picket fence and all of that. And then time happens. You just said a few seconds ago, there is a huge temperature check we need to do overall within the world. I'm paraphrasing what you mentioned. But things outside of our marriages, outside of our homes, may change, and we have to adjust to it. So then dealing, we'll just stay right there. In dealing with the things that are going on outside and in the world, I have, here's my spouse, or the one I'm, in a marriage and a relationship with. So how can they help me navigate these changes in the world? How can I help them navigate these changes in the world? Because, like I say, I mentioned, you start out with these perfect jobs and all that stuff, and then, God forbid, sometimes people may get laid off. Injuries happen on the job. Maybe they lose their job or their career. So then, what you going to do? Are you going to say that's where that mature love, I think, comes in, because God forbid, a husband or a wife loses their job, and then it affects, of course, the home, affects their finances. How am I going to look at them now? You know what I mean? Am I going to say, "Oh, you were foolish for losing your job," or something like that? Or am I going to be in their corner and help them, and do what I can, to be a help meet? You know what I'm saying? So it's so many factors that go into that. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yes. Physical life, physical life, time, physical life is really measured by change.
Yeah,
Period. Either years, days, months, second, a tree grow, a person grow. Physical life is measured by change.
yeah.
In that change, what transpire?
Mm,
So in that change, what increase was decrease? You always have to, most people don't. I look at the biggest marriage in the Bible, where God and Israel and God and the children of Judah, that went through some drastic changes.
yeah,
A lot of it was on the bad, but some of it's
true.
still on the good, because people, God is still married to Judah, but he divorced, backsliding Israel.
Mm,
But here's the whole thing of it: everything is about restoration. And I think that's the key thing a lot of people miss, in the sense that I got to be 100%. I have to be, and we judge perfect by 100%. God does not
okay.
judge perfect by 100%. God
Yeah,
is all about restoration. It's like when Adam and Eve messed up, Christ's coming was not a plan B. And I can show you Christ's coming was plan A. God, like I said before, if God gave you a free will, anybody know you're not going to do what they say.
yeah.
So everything is about restoration. So
Mm,
marriage about restoration. Any relationship is about restoration, building, improving, and growing from there. It's not about, like I said, I'm 100% every test, every time.
right.
Because the Bible tells you plainly, David had a perfect heart towards God.
Mm, yeah,
Now, David never left God. Now, David did get off in the matter of Bathsheba. He got way off, but he got way back.
yeah.
So that goes back to support that opening statement. Falling
Okay.
in love many times. And they clarify always with the same person. Don't go finding all kind of partners you can. Well, I'm falling in love. No, 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 no. We're not talking about that.
Right, right. That would be a huge problem, a very huge problem. Um, no, that's good. I like that. I like the way you talked about the restoration. Now, and let me stay with that for a minute, because I have a question for you. Um, when you talk about restoration, give the definition of restoration.
We think of restoration as restoring back to its original form, but that's
Okay.
not necessary. That's not God's restoration. God's restoration is restoring back better than before.
Hmm.
One of the biggest things in the book of Revelation, God, behold, I make all things new. new heaven, new earth, new this, new that, and it's going to be better.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. We get caught up is I didn't make 100 on the test. God's not checking off every. I mean, come on. If God was marking every single one, we all would have been gone a long time ago.
True. True. No, and that's good that you thank you for giving that definition. The reason why I asked that is because, a lot of times, if I'm praying, about something or a situation or what have you, a lot first thing will come to your mind, when you're praying about something that has gotten um off out of control, or it's not the way it used to be. We typically say, we pray, restore. You're asking God to restore, which, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. But I come to the realization that I don't want it restored back to the way it was, because something broke with that, or something was broken with that. So I don't want to go back to exactly where it was, because that's where it was broken. I wanted to be new. Do you know what I mean? Um
And
so
but
not the
now,
same. So I'm glad that you explained it.
and you know how, and anybody can jump in with a question, but Daddy, Father is so meticulous until He takes everything in our life
Yeah.
and builds upon it. So I mean, He's the only one can take a bad situation and make it something so good, not only to help you, but it help everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So because a few times, you go through life, you do life, and sometimes things doesn't go the way you want to. I'll ask God, why am I going through this? And a few times He tell me, a lot of times He tell me the same thing, because it's for you to grow and help somebody. And a few of the times I say, God, can I help them any other way? I'm sure He did the same thing.
Right, right, right. Laughed at you.
Yeah, He laughed. I ain't saying I don't want to do your will, God, but let's be real. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
indeed it
and
is.
and, and that's the thing, because I was re-looking up. Um, it was interesting how it talks about how Eve, King James says, help meet. You quoted that.
Yep.
But in the original, it's help, a helper that's, what's the word? What, a counter. That's the word. That's the exact word.
Okay.
And get this. That word helper does not mean a subservient helper, because that same word, I'm gonna research it out. I heard it. God used it as Him being helper to Israel.
Mm.
So we know God is not subservient to anyone.
Right.
So just because someone help, don't think that they're subservient. But what God was saying, that same type of help, but that counter, and that's the biggest thing. That counter thinking, that's a help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In a
Oh, that's
multitude of counsel, there's safety.
safety. Yeah.
Because somebody gonna say something you didn't think about, man. Somebody can say something you didn't think about, woman.
Right, right. Yeah.
Counter.
That's good. That's really good. That's a good way to break it down, because some people got issues with that when you say help meet the needs. And I think that the mind will immediately go to that subservient role. You know what I mean? But I, of course, look at it as, just helping to meet the needs, with whatever. If you love that person and are falling in love with them, we're talking about your spouses over and over again, many times, then it shouldn't be an issue to help, right? Because you're in it together. And I wouldn't want to see you fail. I wouldn't want to see me fail. If you fail, I fail, because we're in this. We've committed to this relationship. We've committed to the marriage. So that's definitely something, you have to kind of look at and keep in mind that it's not, I don't want to be a servant, subservient, or whatever. Um, but I just want to help. But thank you again for explaining that. That's good. My husband is very knowledgeable, y'all. He's very knowledgeable. Thank God for him. So, um, guys, when I put this up, my husband's first question was, why does an individual have to fall in love many times? And he was just throwing that question out to everyone. I gave my answer. So if you want to answer, if you guys are coming in, why would you need to fall in love many times? Did I say it right? Is that how you asked it?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Why?
would you need why would you need to fall in love many times, like over and over again? Um, of course, with the same person. But that is definitely something, to think about and to keep at the forefront of our minds, that, what I'm saying, this is what's happening or could happen.
I think you
Um,
said something.
mhm.
Pardon me. I think you said something that was interesting. You was talking about what word did you use? Commitment, committed, or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I think that that's the linchpin that keeps that over and over together,
Yeah.
because there is a commitment. It puts you. It's what drives you back to, okay, let's work this out and this and that. Because here, and see, this is a big thing. This is a big thing with marriage. This is a big thing with life. Is people don't forgive.
Mm.
People carry baggage around and they dump it on the closest person. They turn that back of that garbage truck up, you know, and
Yeah.
and the only way to get that garbage out is to forgive. Talk it through with God, talk it to somebody. But we've got to get that garbage out. Otherwise, we may be popping on our spouses.
Mm. I like that. Or I love to use this phrase, or you will bleed on those who did not cut you.
That's a good one.
Um, when you talk about coming into a marriage or relationship with baggage, extra baggage, and you know that your spouse didn't, you know, many times those things happened before you even got married. So you're coming in with all this luggage, all on your back, weighed all down, and like you said, sometimes you kind of go off on your spouse, so to speak,
Well, I
because
mean, you could have had a bad week at work.
yeah,
You could have had a bad thing at the shopping mall.
mm-hmm,
It could be anything.
yeah,
And that's why we as individuals has got to unload. We got to get that stuff out, because
yeah,
don't we spew off and we don't see anything wrong with it. And we're fine. You ask us.
right. When you're really not. Yeah, it's so much. I mean, even with this temperature check, I mean, I pray that God will bless us to be able to get across this whole concept the way He has given it, and that He will get the glory out of it, because there's so, I mean, it's needed. We have to check the temperature. There are too many separations and divorces, and um, I was talking with someone a while back, and they were having issues in their marriage. And while I was sitting there listening to her, I just couldn't help thinking, but you said you really loved him. Where did it go wrong? What happened? And they built a family and built a life, and then all of a sudden it was just like, Nah, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, like literally, that's what they were saying. And I just, I mean, and things happen for various different reasons. I'm not, and was not in that um, marriage. I don't know all the details or anything, so I'm not passing any kind of judgment. But it's, it's like, okay, so that's why we need to step back, take some, take the temperature, step
But
back and see.
you know, with that, I guess because, like I said, I read and I look at David,
Hmm.
and David really, he really loved God. He never ever served the idol. But like I said, that thing with Bathsheba, I mean, that was a big one. He murdered somebody, committed adultery. He had other folks murdered. He lied. I mean, he coveted. I mean, he broke. I counted one time like 6 of the 10 Commandments, all of one swoop. And
Yeah.
so that was a big deal.
Hmm.
But God punished him severely for that.
Right. Yeah.
But it still was restoration.
Yeah.
So even though a marriage may have went one way, even though a person meant that way, that still does not negate the ability of restoration to somehow occur.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more on that before I go into the next point? Because I know you guys see the title, Foreplay Ideas in Marriage. We're going to get to that. But can you talk a little bit more about restoration? I think that's important, especially when you're dealing with everything. Seemed like things I painted a pretty picture earlier. You're both successful and have these careers and homes and cars, and then things start happening and maybe started affecting what you have. Um, naturally, maybe physically, things have been affected, and then things kind of like bust up. Some people think, okay, this is it, and there's no getting back together, there's no nothing. Of course, I've seen countless uh relationships and marriages that have gotten back together after so long. Some people have remarried, their original spouse. But can you talk about restoration, however you want to bring it up, but then make sure I want to encourage, be encouraging to people, because somebody needs it. I feel it. I feel it in my spirit. Somebody needs it.
When you talk about God, we've been taught, I don't know if Western culture or if we've been taught to submentally put a limit on him.
Mm,
And we put a limit on so many of things, and we really ignore that he's really who he says he is.
yeah.
He can restore all things. And all things in Greek and in Hebrew, all means all. I looked them both up. So it's not some exotic meaning. So
True.
things things may get bad. I mean, this life, things probably will get bad.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm in an ivory tower now. Things will get challenging. Things will get bad. But
Hmm.
what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fold up and run?
Right.
Because you run, you're gonna run right into the same amount of same problem a lot of times. So, and God is all about restoration.
Yeah.
All about restoration.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I think it's thing to start encouraging people um to know that it can be restored. and not necessarily back to where it was, restored to new. And we touched on that earlier. Let's see who's on here saying hi. I think I only see a few people, but I do appreciate you for coming in, jumping in. Hey, I'm Minister Gloria. Thanks for coming in. She says blessings to us. We appreciate you. Um, and again, guys, when you come in, I think I did see Lady Hodges come on earlier. We appreciate you. I'm not sure if you're still watching. And Monique Foltz, thank you, my little sis, for coming in and joining us. We appreciate it. We're talking today, just doing another marriage temperature check, trying to check those marriages, trying to check those relationships. I think it's something we have to do on a regular basis, first and foremost, because God has commissioned this, and it is definitely important to do. So we earlier already talked about, had a little post that I was just kind of getting a little discussion on about falling in love many times, but with the same person, how important that is for relationships. And I think that is definitely key. You know, dear, so many are going through right now, and they're not really saying much, you know, about it. They're kind of keeping it to themselves. They're suffering silently. And I'm just praying that, you know, words that we say or God gives us will help somebody else. Minister Gloria says he preserved those who want to be kept. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. Very true.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Let me share my screen, and then I'm going to show this other post that I placed in the marriage temperature check page. Foreplay ideas in marriage. Uh-oh, watch out now. Yeah, y'all should see my husband. I think he blushing. I don't know if he blushing or what. But these are very good foreplay ideas. And you know what? Let me say this real quick. Yes, my husband and I are saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. We're in the church. Okay. We didn't die because we got married. Matter of fact, we're very much alive. I say that because sometimes people think that if you are saved and you are married, that you got to be boring, that you got to be ho hum, you have to be just, you know, one way, or and that's it. Read between the lines. I'll be like Sherry Shepherd. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask your mom. No, but seriously, marriage should be fun. It should be, you know, of course, it's what you work on, this relationship. It's not like, um, you know, something simple, but it should not be to the point where you are ashamed that you're married or ashamed in the marriage. Um, I mean, and it's okay to even talk about things like this because I'm gonna tell you something. Some folks are up and leaving because they don't have this, you know, in their marriages. So let's go into it. I just wanted to give a little talk beforehand. I don't know if you want to call a disclaimer or not. Foreplay ideas in marriage, and I want to give a shout out to Demeter Stewart is her married last name. Thanks for sharing with us in Marriage Temperature Check on that page. So we have here, you have, and I love how it has the emotional side and the sexual side for ideas. And hopefully, this is something, you know, if y'all want to keep quiet behind your keyboard and stuff, you may not want to say nothing, but so you don't have to say anything. Just take these little tips on with you and let it work for you. So we have on the emotional side daily check-ins. And I just kind of want to go through this, dear. Daily
Mm-hmm.
check-ins. So let's talk about what those look like. What will daily check-ins look like for you, dear?
Daily check-ins, seeing how your spouse emotionally is. because we all get news during the day,
Yeah.
and we could get news that could really rock our world. We can get news that can make us very happy. But more so, those moods, that news that really rock you. You know, where are you, basically? You know.
Yeah. I like that. I'm very impressed with that answer, actually. Because I think we women are more emotional, right? So we may send that text and say, "Hey, babe, how you feeling?" Or "How did it go?" Or something like that. A "Hey, I love you," type thing. So I like that you said you want to maybe check in on your spouse because you don't know what the day would bring, right, for them, and you want to make sure they're good, make sure they're okay. I love that. I love that concept. And then, of course, now, like I mentioned, we can do it through text messages. We can send voicemail messages. Or if you guys have like a certain way to contact each other during the day, whether it is, a special text message that you just have for your spouse, and that, what I'm saying, I think something like that can be worked on and can make things exciting. Um, and then, because when you talk about foreplay, stuff like that, baby, if baby, you give me a message, just say, "Hey, baby, I'm just checking on you, see how you doing." Oh my goodness, woo-hoo, you don't know what that'll do for me. You know what I mean? And that will that will help, yeah, even in that foreplay, you know. So then you move on to the sexual side here. Let's right next to that. Um, and I'm not sure if this list is supposed to like piggyback off of each other, emotional, sexual, but we'll just do it as such. And then you have kissing slowly, kissing slowly. Now I remember in the marriage retreat that we just attended, I think the very first thing on the list, because they had an acronym, and I
Hmm.
can't. If I find it while we're on the air, I will read it. But there was an acronym of how you check in or how you keep up with your spouse. Yep. So the second word of that acronym was kiss, K for kiss, and that's what this made me think of: kissing slowly. I mean, think about it. You're taking your time, and kissing.
Hmm.
That's good foreplay. It's a good idea. Uh, and when you're kissing slowly, and this is just my mentality, my thought process, you're taking your time. You're telling your spouse, "I'm taking my time. I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
express myself to you, not in a hurry, because we can kiss and keep going, right? But
You're
we
right.
but we but when you kissing slowly, baby, you checking that temperature, okay? Um, but again, I like going back on that emotion side, how you check in and see, make sure their emotions are intact, are good. And then what's to say? I want to add this on a question for you. So if you're checking in with them and then maybe they're not having such a good day, you check to see how their emotions are. So how would you counteract? How would you react to that?
That's a little bit of your second one. Complimenting often, trying to encourage or see what actually happened, and you learn sometime it's more listening than talking, because sometimes they just women just or spouses just want to say things and don't necessarily want any instructions.
Oh, you sound like I'm like, okay, honey, I need the husband side, not the elder side, not the minister side. I need the husband side right now. I'm
Hmm.
laughing because I do tell him that sometimes. Maybe I just want to vent or get things off my chest. But yeah, I like that. And you know what? You took me back to our earlier years of marriage when I was working at one corporation, and I'm not going to call the corporation out, but I was having an issue, remember, with one of the supervisors there. And I, I don't, can't remember if he called me out of my name or he was just very disrespectful. And I wasn't having such a good time, like adjusting there. And I remember sharing it with you, and I remember you coming up to the job. I remember you coming up to the job. It was almost like, not on my watch. This is my wife. You gonna respect her type thing, And you got that thing straight because he didn't act crazy no more after that. I don't. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it.
You don't remember? Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. That was sexy to me. That was my husband showing me that he cared, that um no one's going to mess with my wife type, you're not going to disrespect my wife. And that was a turn on to me. I was like, I was newly married and everything. I was like, okay, I see you. Now if I probably call the name of the corporation, you probably will remember it.
I think it's starting to come back.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so that, you when you check in on an individual, and like I asked you, what would happen if things kind of went a little crazy for them, what would you do? So that was an instance at that point of what you did for me, so I appreciate that. Let's see, I think, is this Nisi? Chanel that is on, she says foreplay is the most important before the rest. That is so true. That is so true. And how long have you been married now, Chanel? Can you share with us? So I know you got some years in tucked under your belt. This Mother Walton's daughter,
Oh, okay.
Nisi. We call her
Okay.
Nisi too. Um, but yeah, it really kind of makes you sit up and take notice. That foreplay. We're going through foreplay ideas in marriage here, and that's a good thing. Now, again, that made me feel really good when you stood up for me, um, and did that. So now we go up to the other side, and it talks about sensual body massage. Sensual body massage. My husband is laughing. That's an inside joke. I cannot tell y'all. But this is good. This is good. Because you know what? If you, and then it's so funny. I've seen so many posts, honey, on social media where the woman comes home from work, or she's just tired, or a part of her body is just really tense or whatever. and she say, and she say, I just wanted a simple massage, and then he turns it into something else. I think that's kind of how men respond, just kind of in general. But but body massages are good. They are good. Sensual, as it says. Okay, Chanel says 20 years. 20 years. Well, praise God. Praise God for 20 years. And she loved that man. I'm telling you, I love it. I love how she loves on him, and he loves on her as well. Hey, Merelda, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. If you guys wouldn't mind going ahead and sharing this out, you can like, love, throw up the heart button, the care button, if you would not mind. You can tag individuals directly into this session. We're just doing our marriage temperature check. And,
Hmm.
for this evening, I think the last time was maybe like a couple of weeks ago. So we're trying to, get it more often. I kind of get a routine going in. And as I mentioned earlier, and when we started on today, and I've mentioned it in other sessions as well, please make sure you go to our marriage temperature check page on Facebook. and like us, follow us. I've invited many people, so if you please can follow us, and then that way, once I get a certain number over there that are following us, I will be able to go live directly from that page. So we do encourage you to do that, and you can just keep up with us. Different posts that we place in there in relation to marriage or relationship temperature checks. It'll be good for you and us as well. So let's go on. Writing love notes. Oh my God. Writing love notes. Who does that in this house? Who does that in this house? Listen, let me tell y'all something about Mr. Anthony L. Harris. In the beginning, no, I write and not necessarily I write my feelings out. Okay. That's how I express myself, is writing it out, typing it out, or what have you. I would be getting this man cards, like birthday cards or what have you, celebrating what, I don't know, engagement. I don't know. I would just get him cards. Chad, I'll start finding these cards all over the house, just anywhere.
But they were saved.
But you wouldn't even known. I find it somewhere that's not even there's not even a place to save
It
it.
wasn't in the trash can. It wasn't filed in the
Almost.
circular file.
Almost. In my mind, see, but you had to wait. Because in my mind, it was in the trash can. It may have been in a place,
No, no,
but
no,
in
no. I
my
never
mind,
did that.
I'm like, you to keep up with this. That was my thought, my mentality, right? And so I stopped doing it for a while. I don't even know when I picked it back up. Did I? Probably didn't. Because my little feelings was hurt. I'm like, I go and pick out the card, write my little life story, my heart all in the card, and it'd be somewhere. I'm like, babe, really?
And every word was read and appreciated.
That is hilarious. I just want you to know that right now. That's hilarious. That's a pretty good comeback for yourself. But no, I don't even think I picked up a. I think. Hold on. Let me back up. I think I bought you a car for your 60th birthday, which was last year. What, the last year that you turned 60? Wait, yeah.
Hmm.
So from last year to the last time I bought you a car was probably we were probably in our 30s or something. I don't I don't think I bought you a car when we were in our 40s and 50s. I'm still in my 50s, but he made 60 already. But yeah, I don't. Oh, see, I got a witness here. Morelda says I don't do cars anymore for that same reason. Oh,
Oh,
Meralda, I love you. Thank you for being a witness. She said, I just do text now, especially if he's traveling. See, my husband travels a lot too. But wow, that's amazing. See, I thought I was being harsh. Merelda, thank you for hallelujah. Thank you for coming and being a witness to your sister. Because I thought I was kind of being harsh, but like I said, it hurt my feelings, because I'm like, I put my whole heart into it, and I find this car just laying around. So now I could even take it better if he had a certain section where he would keep the cards, right? Okay, I could even see that, and I wouldn't even be mad. I promise you, I wouldn't. But these were laying around anywhere, places they shouldn't be. I think one time I found one down by the in the laundry room. Okay, let's move on because he probably gonna get me. But we're just being transparent and being honest here. We're checking the temperature. We're checking the temperature. All right. So I'm the writer. I will write the love notes or the cards or whatever. But after those incidences, I really haven't written much. I think I probably have I sent you text messages?
yes.
Did you read them? Oh boy, I'm on the roll today. I think I'm gonna get it though. Okay, so that goes with the on the sexual side. It says texting flirty messages. So, honey, you need to do that with me. If you take the initiative, I'll piggyback. I'll piggyback. How about that?
We consider it.
Oh, well, I got it on live. He said we'll consider it. Okay, so all right, so texting those messages. That I think that would be really nice. I really do. I really do. So we're gonna work on that on our end, guys. I don't know what you guys need to do off of this list. Okay, so acts of service. Now, of course, these fall under love languages. So acts of service. Uh, oh, but let me go back up here and read Chanel's comment. She said, "I used to do cards with his favorite candy bar. That has died for years." What's wrong with these husbands? That's hilarious, Nisi. That's hilarious. See, see. Oh wait, oh wait. That is really interesting. Yeah, it's got to be something on the spouse, the male spouse's end. You know, just not for y'all or something. But see, we're mushy. We're emotional. We'll do stuff like that. Acts of service. That still even coincides with that, right?
Well, acts of service. No, I don't think that coincides with it. That's why it's broken out separate. Acts of service is something not necessary. I mean, if you could consolidate that under that,
I'm
but
trying to help y'all, but go ahead. Go ahead.
what acts of service?
Mm-hmm.
Well, acts of service is doing some of the things um, that the traditional male roles, but that has been so skewed uh,
Mm.
with today's generation. Or and I'm not even going to say today's generation. It's just been skewed. I would say acts of service is on either party. What are they doing to help the union? Um, um,
Hmm.
because you need financial things, you need physical things to keep the home together, to keep the yard together, to keep all that other stuff. Uh, because it's hard to be living together under a viaduct. I mean,
Mm.
it can be done, but it's hard. So
Wow.
so somebody has to keep the physical part of it, and I consider those acts of service.
Now that's very interesting. You guys that are watching, what do you think acts of service are? What are acts of service? Um, Period. And then in relation to what we're talking about now, foreplay ideas in marriage. Because my husband just described an act of service that would probably be very common with men and husbands. Um, because as a love language, acts of service should be showing that love and affection, not just doing I'm gonna take out the trash. Is
Well,
that the way it's showing your love?
well, if a person don't get up and go out when they don't feel like it, what is driving them to do that? Just because they want to get up and do something they don't want to do? They're doing it for the commitment.
Mm,
And that's the greatest part of love. Love is an action. Love is doing something. A lot of times, what you don't want to do to make sure everything is good. Somebody has to do it.
okay. So you try to make my life easier because you know I don't like taking out the trash.
Well, it's a lot of things, but we'll stop right there.
Hey, I'm just talking about that particular act of service, right?
Yeah, I said we can stop right there, but it's a
Oh,
lot of things that goes unsung that are incredibly important for the well-being of everything to run smoothly. So everything else on top of it can run smooth. And acts
yeah.
of service has to be done. It's just like if you don't, it's just like kids in a house.
Mm-hmm.
When they get their
True.
own house, they got to see, oh, insurance, oh, light bill, oh, gas bill, oh, this, oh, that. It's a lot of
Yeah.
acts of service to make that a fun, enjoyable, or safe place to be.
Okay. I got you. That's good. That's good.
I know it may be boring, but
No,
somebody
no,
has.
no, that's fine. Now I got to go back up to on the sexual side when they talk about texting flirty messages. I don't think I read the entire things throughout the day. So when I asked you, is there something you can do? You said you're going to look into it. So I wanted you to get the full context of that phrase. Texting flirty messages throughout the day. So, okay, but they have to be flirty, which will engage the foreplay, right? It can't be, can you take some out the cook? Can you pull this out the freezer? I am
I'm
on the
sure,
road.
I'm sure the person
Folks.
I'm sure the person saying texting throughout the day don't have a job or they have a lot of responsibilities as well throughout the day.
No, that doesn't mean that because you could be on a break from your job. You could be, something could make you think of your spouse, at that moment. You could, hey, babe, I love you. I was thinking about you. I was remembering last night. That was good night or something. It doesn't have to mean that they're not working and that they're not busy. It only takes a few seconds to text. And sometimes you can even voice text. That way you won't even have to type. Let's move forward. We may have to come back and finish foreplay ideas and marriages on another session because we gotta get away with time here. But these are actually good. I think that's probably why I'm kind of taking my time. Um, let's do a couple more and then we'll kind of wrap up. Physical affection, non-sexual. Now we talked earlier about that sensual body massage. That sometimes the wife she'll want a massage and then he'll massage it, but he'll turn into something else. So this physical, you meanwhile her back is still bothering her, and he did what? Well, okay. Non-sexual physical affection. What does that look like for you?
It could be something simple as holding hands.
Oh yeah. Do you
It
think
could be
women are
something.
more?
It could be holding hands. It could be hugging. It could be a number of things.
So do you think with physical affection, non-sexual physical affection, that women are more prone to do that than men?
Well, the pat answer would be yes, but it all depends on how a person is wired. It really, because you have some men that are more into it than women. I mean, so it all depends. I would think the base answer would be yes, but that's not the absolute because you have some men on the other side of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm, okay. So we need to figure out some non-sexual physical affection that we can display. Holding hands, that's a good one. Um,
going and walking,
going walking, that's physical affection.
you don't understand that?
Tell me.
That's spending time, quality time together.
Hmm. And that goes under non-sexual physical affection. Man, I'm telling you, y'all men have different
Bonding,
viewpoints.
that's a different form of emotion. That's a different form of bonding. That's a different form of uh,
No, I mean it's good to hear your opinions and your thoughts. I would love if anybody else is on here to give me their thoughts, what they think non-sexual physical affection would be. What are some examples? Um,
I see it all the time when I'm riding my bike, whether it's downtown, whether it's Lakeshore Drive, whether it's South Suburbs, couples out there and enjoying each other physically, non sexually.
hmm, wow, it's interesting. I mean, you may have somebody who agrees with you. I don't know.
Would you say
Huh.
crickets?
Right. Um, a non-sexual physical affection. How about you take it to a diamond store? No, let me stop. Okay, let's go over to.
You've been to a diamond store before. And again,
It's been such a long time. Oh goodness, Merelda, thank you. Here's a comment. She says maybe just a kiss hello or just because. Just a kiss on the lips. I like that. Yeah,
okay,
that's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. And those, I mean, guys, we can brainstorm with stuff like this. We help you, you help us, we're helping others, even with this. But I like that comment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to, you know, y'all end up in the bedroom or wherever y'all at. Um, that's good stuff. Okay, so shower on the sexual side, showering together. Ooh, now those things could very well change in your marriage. You could be all excited and be here, like I mentioned at the beginning of this session, all giddy, have that young love or whatever, right? Or the excitement of, just getting married. And maybe you want to shower together. Does that last? Maybe it should be brought back if it stopped.
maybe.
Maybe. Then you get into thinking about and reviewing, what we mentioned earlier about how as time changes, our bodies change, what we want may change. Um, Maybe in the beginning, I just wanted you to make sure you get my back or whatever. Or now I'm like, no, I got my own back.
Yes, you do.
I think I'm choking. We as women, our bodies do change though. And sometimes we may want that, time to ourselves. In the bathroom, we're in the beginning, be like, baby, come on in here with me. I mean, not that you don't want them in there with you at all ever again, but you do want your space sometimes. So, maybe some things need to be revisited. And that's cool too. Uh, so yeah, these are good. So what we're gonna do, man, how many more? We got a lot more after this, after that one. So maybe we can come back to it on our next session. Um, Maybe kind of throw some more ideas into the foreplay. Would you say, Merelda? Yes, it can be showering. It's definitely off limits. It's moving into grown folks stuff. Yep. Okay. Showering off limits. We know where it can lead. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. But then I guess you have to kind of have that level. Maybe you can bring that non-sexual aspect into it. If I mean, it would depend upon what you guys are looking for at that point. Of course, after you've been out, maybe your husband out of town or my husband been out of town or whatever, and come back, baby, come on in the shower with me. Once he gets home, because maybe he been there for a few days or something like that, and you need to reconnect in that way. That's cool too. Um, and but then it could definitely be just a thing of you kind of getting reacquainted in there without it going into that next level. That could happen too, right, babe? What was your response?
Well, maybe you can put that on next week.
Morel, I think you might have been on to something. She said, we know where it can lead. That is hilarious. That is so funny. But okay, no, but this has been good. I love to have these sessions with my husband. These are very good. So let me stop sharing this here. But make sure that was just the page, the marriage temperature check page, guys, that you can again make sure that you um, go and you've been invited to like it. So we do appreciate we do appreciate you guys. I'm sorry, I was looking at another comment. You guys engaging with us and helping us along this line of what we're doing. So, um, did you want to say anything else, dear?
That should do it about now. I mean, we don't
Okay.
want to go too long. We've over our hour.
Over our hour. This man is counting the hours. My husband is an accountant by trade, so but she has says over time nothing will stay the same. It's more about companionship as we grow older. The love language changes in areas. That is so true, Nisi.
Yes, that's very good.
I totally agree with you on that. I'm making sure that your comment didn't get cut
And
off.
how was the 4th of July?
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to make sure her comment wasn't cut off. You can talk, sweetie.
Oh, no, no, no. No. I said that was good. That's
Yeah. Uh-huh. Love language change. And actually we kind of touched on that a little bit earlier, Chanelda, about how our bodies change, we change, because I did put up the one um um flyer rather that talks about us falling in love. It says a successful marriage requires falling in love many times. I'm going to show it again. And so we talked about that, and my husband had the question of why do we need to fall in love many times again? This is how we started off. If you see it here, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. And so he did ask again, why do we need to fall in love so many times? And so I gave the comment, almost similar to what you were saying about how we change, our bodies change, our desires, wants, and needs change. We're two different people. So, yeah, our love, we may need to fall in love again, but it does say always with the same person, you know, because there's some new things about your spouse or some, as you change. You mentioned about companionship as we get older. So if your love language changes in certain areas, as you've stated, then I think we should be required to fall in love many times with that same person. That's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. But okay. All right. So we're going to get out of here and hopefully we'll be back soon with you guys. Just stay posted. I'm going to try and do my best to actually post prior to us coming on live, maybe a day or two before, a week, hopefully a week before, so that you guys can get an idea of when we'll be on. And then that way, you kind of adjust your schedules to be able to watch with us live. And if not, you can always watch the recorded segment. And so we're going to get out of here, dear. As always, it's nice. I can't remember whose turn it is.
yours.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I can always check, right?
Go ahead and check.
Because it was right before. Um, it was right before. It was right before the holiday, wasn't it? It was July 1st. So let's see here. I'm gonna check. I mean, just keep talking. I'm gonna check.
I'll let you check. You come up with the same answer.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't see it. Uh-oh. I think he might be right. Okay. Oh, Shanoda says yes. So true. Very true. All right, guys, we like to sign off of our marriage temperature check with our signature. Um, I just created this, I think, like the first time we came on. So my husband's going to talk, right, dear?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'll be right there.
All right. Well, we thank everyone for your support, and we thank you. And your comments are greatly appreciated, and they help as well because all of us can, one of us cannot outthink all of us.
Mm. And that was that long kiss.
Okay. He's coming right now.
I think I left you speechless, right? Is that what
Yeah,
it was?
yes,
Hey, now. All right. But thank you again, guys. We, like my husband said, we do appreciate your comments and joining in with us and sharing, being transparent, because this is something that we need to do. We need to check the temperature of our marriages. We want to try and save some marriages here. Maybe put some back together, or as go, go as the Lord leads us. So make sure you guys pray for us. We'll pray for you, and we'll see you next time. Right? Is that it,
yes,
dear?
that's it.
All right. We'll see you soon.